Yerp, this perp back with another video, and I just got done checking out the first episode of Heavenly Delusion. This is streaming on Hulu, I think Crunchyroll, but I think it's mostly on Hulu because Disney owns the streaming rights or whatnot. But I had no idea what this show was going to be about going into it, but after this first episode, I am very intrigued and I'm hooked. Now, before we get into my quick thoughts on this episode, please bear with me because with any new anime, it's going to take me some time to learn these names. So if I butcher any of these characters' names, it is what it is. I will get used to hearing their names, so I'll be able to pronounce it right. So with all that being said, let's get right into it. We start off, we get this kind of like almost Promised Neverland kind of intros. Like we got these kids and they're all just having the time of their lives. The animation is just so clean, you know what I'm saying? You just think they're living in paradise until one of the kids, gets a message as they're taking a test saying, do you want to go outside the outside? Really weird thing. And then we get introduced to our main characters or some new characters. I think this is going to be who we're going to follow throughout this series is Muro, however you pronounce his name, and the girl that just goes by the name Sis. Even though they did in the subtitles, if you watched it subbed, they do tell you who her name is. It's Kiryoko, but I'ma just call her Sis, just like old boy has been calling her. But they're pretty much scavenging for supplies or even food because we don't know exactly where they want to go. They mentioned this place called Heaven, or some type of place that is kind of like a sanctuary, and she's obviously talking about Sis. She's also looking for somebody as well. We don't got too much information of these characters. Like I said, they just mentioned that there was this collapse. I want to know exactly what happened during this collapse and why are there still people that survived. Well, she does explain that the people that did survive the collapse, they mostly died of starvation. Some people were able to survive and make it past that point, obviously. So it's going to be interesting because there's two kind of different storylines going on. The people that live in that kind of sanctuary, and then there's the people outside of that. And I'm wondering how those two worlds are going to collide. So as they're traveling, they get boxed in by these guys that are also looking to just rob them. She pulls out this gun. It looks like a ray gun. And they call her bluff and they say, hey, that looks like a toy. That doesn't even look like a real gun, because in this new world, it's really rare to see guns. And she shoots it and it's like a ray gun. But we also see old boy get busy, so he's good with the hand-to-hand stuff. That's really cool. But I like how she pretty much forces them to take them back to their hideout, only to just kind of get this battery to charge her gun and kind of try to get a little bit more information. But she's only there to just pretty much charge that gun, or just to kind of get any type of supply that she can out of them before they leave. And I'm wondering if we're going to see those characters again. Probably not, but I thought that was a pretty funny scene. There is a lot of interesting humor that is sprinkled in throughout different scenes and whatnot, so that's really cool. That's not completely dark and depressing, even though I think this show will have those moments, and I can't wait. So shifting things back over to, the school, they keep talking about the outside, and it gets one of the kids to kind of think about it. It sticks with them. So he just kind of wakes up in the middle of the night and he goes out and just thinks to himself, is there really like an outside world? Then we get introduced to another character called the director, which I'm really curious to see how this all is going to unfold, because she even lets him know, like, yeah, there is an outside. There's also monsters out there and whatnot, which I love that they they have hints of like horror elements in this series, so I'm curious to see how that's gonna play out as well. So then we go back to Sis and Maru. They, come across this, I guess, hotel, and this lady, treats them, lets them refresh and, take showers, clean up a little bit, because Sis ended up giving her some batteries, and that's like damn near gold, like money's no good in this world, but stuff like that, food and whatnot, are very essential. But there was a funny scene where they're having this conversation and just kind of talking about where they're headed and whatnot. She gets the idea. I'm talking about the lady that kind of runs this house or this hotel or whatever. Says, hey, don't be messing around. And Sis was quickly like, no, like, we're never going to be nothing like that. We kind of get some backstory on Maru, like she was supposed to like be this bodyguard, I guess, towards him, whatever. But yeah, the episode ends with, them falling asleep, but she is locked and loaded, and then we get introduced to this big ass creature, which I thought it was like a small raven, but when you get to see it up close, it's like damn near a size of a house. So I'm curious to see how that's gonna play out as well. What is she gonna do? Is these two kids like bait? They're not kids, but are these two people bait for her, and she's just been kind of sacrificing things to it? I have no idea. Overall, really good first episode. It didn't give us too much, but it left a lot to the imagination. Like, how is this all going to play out? What's really going on here? Are the people that are in this like little sanctuary, are they really the bad people, or are they in an alternate dimension? Let me know how you guys feel about this in the comments below. How'd you feel about this episode? Does it make you want to continue to watch? For me, I'm definitely going to be watching episode 2. I'm going to learn all these names and just get used to it, and you know what I'm saying? But that's just my quick thoughts on the episode. Till next time, I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.